Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to the second hour of LoveBabz, LoveTalk. I'm Babz Rawls-Ivy. And guess who's with me today? Hey, Patty Russo from the Campaign School of Yale.
Good morning, darling. How are you? See, I'm extra sparkly this morning. You may notice.
I love the glamour.
It's a gloomy day, and they're just perfect for today. I like to sparkle.
I might have to go and spy a pair for myself. I love them.
And you know that I am magic because you tell me that I am.
You are.
I got like a Babz shrine going on this morning on my desk. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it.
I love to say, I love how my grads take care of me. You're one of my grads. You're one of our rock star grads from the campaign school at Yale. And all of you just take such wonderful care of me. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.
You take care of us. So,
Well, that's the Italian in me, right? My mother always said, not everybody's lucky enough to be Italian, honey. Our job is to take care of people. I do my best. I feed you, right?
You do. You do. Copious amounts of wine, drink, yes.
I was up in New Haven yesterday.
I saw you at the Judge Constance Baker Motley honoring.
Yes. We're working on awarding Constance Baker Motley the Congressional Gold Medal, long overdue. It was just her 100th birthday, so fitting, so appropriate. And of course, our fearless leader, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, leading the charge, raising her hand always. And I'm really confident it's going to happen. It's really, really exciting. It was a beautiful day, and I had never been to Q House before.
It's new. It just opened. So
what a gem. It's just spectacular. I
don't even think it's really open.
I want to do a one-day training there.
Oh, you should. Oh, because you have more than enough space.
It's spectacular. And of course, Alder Jeanette Morrison was there, and she had a starring role at the press conference. And she also is one of our grads, one of our rock stars. And so that was the first thing I said to her. I said, I would really we need to do something here. We can make it happen. But
I love it.
Just a spectacular day. Everyone was just so excited and honored and thrilled to be there. Dory Dumas was there from the NAACP, and you know how incredible she is. I mean, she's so inspiring, so dynamic, and just a powerful, really powerful day.
I live streamed it on my show yesterday.
What you did? Thank you. Thank you.
I did, because I thought it was. We thought it was important here. We just wanted. I mean, the New Haven Independent was already streaming it, and so I said, "Well, let's do it here too." So it was really great. It worked out pretty well.
Thank you.
Hey, Ron Thomas.
Oh, here he is. Good morning.
Were you going to let me on, or was I going?
We always let you on, Ron. We can't.
Do something with my appearance or put on a tie? Is that the problem?
That background is amazing.
He's actually, I bet that's a real background, Ron, right?
Yeah, it is.
Ron is at the office.
I know. I'm coming up there because I got to see this for myself. Do they let any old body off the street up there?
No, we don't, but we will let you in, of course.
All right. Okay.
How does this look?
Oh, I like that too.
That's when you're not in the office, but you want to like you're in the office.
Well, welcome. I was so happy to have you guys back, because this partnership between you two is just growing and going, and I love it. So everybody, you all know Patty Russo from the Campaign School at Yale. And Ron Thomas from the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities, CCM, and they got together, I guess, before the pandemic. Was it before the pandemic or during the pandemic?
Actually, it was during the pandemic when we had the first training. Yes. So,
and it was so well received that they renewed their vows and are doing very, very similar things. Representation matters. Are you ready to run for state office? And the training, 2 days of free online training, March 12th and 19th. So what made y'all come back and do this again? Like, what was it about the first training that said, oh, we ought to, this is a good thing. Let's keep this going.
Well, Patty, I mean, I'll start, but I'll say because it was great. It was wonderful. It was extremely well received by people. We had over 100 people in attendance, a lot of people asking a lot of interesting questions, a great panelist, I might say. Day one, which Patty runs with the campaign school at Yale, was extremely well received. And she had a panel too of some dynamic people who had run for office. Babz, you were among those people who were on the panel. And I'm telling you, if you looked at the chat, they were asking a lot of conversation, a lot of questions. There was a lot of enthusiasm. And we just said, let's do this again. Let's focus on state office and have a conversation again. So that's how it came about.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, what will this be different than the first time, or what did you learn the first time around that you're adding to this particular training?
Well, Patty, do you want to start? I don't want to hog up the conversation.
Sure, I can talk about the first day. We're responsible for the first day, but CCM has made a commitment for 2 days, 2 Saturdays of programming. So I'll start off with the first day. First, I want to applaud CCM and the dynamo that is our dear friend now, Babz. Thank you for sharing Ron Thomas with me. We had a little bit of a battle, you may recall, last year. And I called you and I said, oh my God, I met this great guy. He's amazing. He so gets it. He so understands the importance of making a long-term commitment to training and inspiring people to lead. His name is Ron Thomas. Forever. We've known him forever. So we had a little bit of a tug of war. But fortunately, you're such a good sharer, Babz. You have shared Ron with me. But it does
I do what I can.
It does make a difference when you have leaders and partners who collaborate with you, who get it. This isn't a one-shot deal. It's not, you cannot simply offer a phenomenal experience, right? And then go away. It's the kind of thing you have to build. You have to inspire people. You have to get them at the right time, the right moment in their lives. And so that's why I'm so grateful that this is a continuing commitment that both the campaign school at Yale and CCM has made to leaders in our communities. It's so, so critical. So to Ron's point, we had a phenomenal response. It was so exciting. And I heard from so many of the attendees from our first day of training, wanting to know more and then signing up for our newsletter and thinking, hey, maybe someday I'm going to be ready for your 5-day at Yale Law School. So this is how we build and grow leaders, right, in our community. And what I like to say often, as you know, Babz, is not everybody is born to run. I have no interest in running for office, right? I like behind the scenes. I like campaign management. That's my sweet spot. That's my lane. But everyone was born to lead. Everyone was born to raise their hand and say, I want to make a difference in the world. And that's what this program at CCM is doing for our community, which is phenomenal. And I'm so proud to be a part of it. So we are responsible for the first day, which will be Saturday, March 12th. Live online, so very easy to join us from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3. As you know, Babz, it's a full day of great training by phenomenal faculty and speakers. And so we're hoping that by the end of that one day, people will have a better sense of where they fit in, right? Do I want to run for office someday? Gosh, yeah, I really do want to run for office someday. By 3 o'clock, they're going to know. Or, wow, what was I thinking? I'm not interested in running for office, but boy, do I want to tell people what to do. I want to be, I want to be a campaign manager. That's what I love. I love, packing my trunk with, with things that campaign candidates are going to need from me, right? It's just kind of traveling roadshow with the campaign school. So what we're hoping is that by the end of the day, people will have a sense of confidence that they didn't have before in terms of which path to choose. Do I want to run for office? How do I prepare for that? Do I want to run a campaign? What's involved in that? Or do I want to be a more successful, effective, articulate spokesperson on behalf of an issue that I feel passionately about in my community? So in the morning, I do my module, Babz, you've heard it a million times, making the decision to run. Everything that you need to think about before you even think about stepping into this arena. And you know about the rough and tumble of politics. It can get pretty ugly pretty quick, right? We want you to be prepared for everything that may come your way, both professionally and personally. You know, there's a lot that you have to give up personally in order to make a difference to lead in your community. And so that is something that we feel is so important. Get your act together, both personally and professionally, before you step out into the world and, as I like to say, share your magnificence with your community. And then we pivot. The two most critical areas, that the reason why we don't see more people leading: presentation skills, speaking, public speaking. I know, Babz, you find this hard to believe, but public speaking is one of the #1 reasons we don't see more people leading. Oh my God, I have to talk to, a group. Oh no, I can't do that, right? So it's the fear of public speaking. So we have a phenomenal faculty member in Gilda Bonanno, who walks us through her hour presentation on magnifying your magnificence, how to be an effective speaker. And then the second faculty member, Mona Das, who's actually a grad of our school, she's the state senator in the great state of Washington, putting the fun in fundraising. So one of the other reasons why we don't have more people running is, oh my God, I have to raise $25,000 for a local seat I'm not gonna be paid for. It doesn't come with a salary, but I have to raise money in order to win, to serve and earn no income. Is that what you're telling me, Patty? Yes, exactly. So we want our attendees to achieve a level of comfort and confidence in both those areas, because they are critical to the success of being an effective leader.
Yes.
And then we have, as you know, our panel of rockstar grads. We're focused this year, our focus is on how to run for statewide office. So everyone who's on our panel, all our grads this year, are panelists who are actually in state office right now. So we have Kate Farrar from our own great state of Connecticut, from West Hartford. She's a state rep. She's going to be talking about what it was like to run for office right here in Connecticut, again, to get our attendees ready for a run in Connecticut. And then we have Yasmin Neal, who's a state senator, African-American woman, state senator from Georgia, talking about her experience. What was it like to be a woman of color running as a state rep in Georgia? And then we have Natalie Murdoch, a state senator, talking about, again, what was it like being a woman of color running for the state Senate? So since that's the focus, that's where we are, we're focusing on this year's training, is getting more people of color to consider leading in their, in their respective states, and in this instance in Connecticut.
Oh, I love it. Takes all the mystery out. So Ron, talk about your part.
Thank you. No, that's exactly. I was just going to say, I'd like to step back just a few minutes, for a few seconds, to tell you how we began this whole thing. Joe DeLong, who's the executive director of CCM, and I were having a conversation. This is before the pandemic, about the need to try to encourage more minorities to run for public office, to create greater diversity, to ensure that there's a variety of different opinions and experiences in councils and places like that, boards, that sort of thing. And then we got kind of stopped by the pandemic. But by the fall, we got back into it, and we had a series of regional forums with municipal officials and community leaders. I think perhaps the first of its kind, where you had a mayor on a panel with the person who was from Black Lives Matter, at the NAACP and other organizations, discussing race. And I think it was one of the most meaningful conversations I've been a part of. We had a national panel, a panel of national experts at our convention to talk about racial equity. And then we've had a series of trainings for municipal officials throughout the year to orient them and try to give them the tools by which to begin conversations and to develop a plan. We also have a toolkit for municipal officials, and we've been having webinars each month which focus on a component of the toolkit. So we're really trying to dig in there and really help give towns what they need in order to make them more equitable places and to ensure that every voice in the community is heard. Now, for us with day two, we're taking the great work that Patty's done, and we're going to be having day two on March 19th at 10 o'clock. And what we're going to do is try to tell you about some of the things that you might experience being in office, be able to ask officials from Connecticut some questions about being in office. And we've got a great agenda of people. One, you're going to hear from Paul Mounds, who's the chief of staff for the governor, the first Black person to ever hold that office. You're going to hear from Representative Joanna Hayes, who obviously is a U.S. representative representing Connecticut. You're also going to, and she's going to talk about why be involved in your community and the benefits of that. And we're also going to hear from Attorney General Tong, who's going to talk about civic engagement and the importance of civic engagement. We're also going to hear, and this is one of the things, this is answering a question that you asked earlier, what did we learn from the previous training that we held? We learned that people want to be able to have a conversation with people on the local level who can answer some of the more technical questions that they might have about running for office. So we have a committee, a town committee chair from Hartford, and who's a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and then we have a town committee chair who's from Glastonbury, who's a Republican. So people will be able to have the opportunity to ask them questions about the process. That's one of the things that people said they wanted to talk about last year. We're also going to be talking about just what state government does. I think for a lot of people, they don't realize how involved state government is in their lives when it comes to public education, not only what's being taught in the schools, but also the funding that towns get from the state. So it's very, very important that they just kind of know what state government does for them. We're also going to have a panel of state elected officials who are going to give their stories and tell you about lessons learned. So you'll be able to hear from them also about their particular journey. And if I were doing this over, I'd do it this way, or the main thing I learned is this, and I want to share this with you so that you can benefit from it. So it's going to be 2 great days of, I think, learning and I think fun for a lot of people. And again, as Patty said, I urge people to consider participating, even if you have no interest in running for office whatsoever. I think the thing is, you'll learn about how communities and the state function. And I think those are lessons that you'll be able to take with you anywhere. And for those who are listening from out of state, you're welcome to. We want everybody to feel like they can participate and learn.
I'm sorry, and all this is free.
Yes,
absolutely free. I mean, you have a renowned school like the Yale campaign school, it's campaign school at Yale. You have a renowned institution like that we're providing you access to for free, as well as, you know, some of the great thinkers, not only in the country, but in the state. And I think a lot of the people that you will hear from will have some stories that will amaze you. And everybody's not, I think everybody has a different story. I think very few people maybe like Bill Clinton, who grows up saying, I want to be president. Most people kind of fall into being in office and public service. And the thing is to just light a pathway for them to be able to, look down and see if it's for them or not. As Patty said, there are various ways to be a leader.
Yes. Okay, Patty, you were saying?
I was saying that, again, yes, I wanted to check in with Ron to make sure, before I misspeak, that it is indeed free of charge, which is, again, phenomenal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Such an incredible opportunity for attendees to join us again. That's the beauty of Zoom, right? This is what we've learned in the 2 years we've been live online is, gosh, how great it is to fall out of bed and be able to tune in, click on a link and you get just phenomenal. It's a fun, exciting, and you learn so much. And, just for people of color and women, the political system was not made for us. It was not designed for us to run for office or even to be leaders, right? So there are challenges that women and people of color face that, quite frankly, white men just don't have to think about, right? They just don't, because the system was created for them. But there are challenges that the rest of us face. And so why not skew ourselves for success? And again, the storytelling is so powerful. Once we do all the training and they get all this incredible information, then we're like, okay, this is what you do with it, right? We're gonna have just dynamic leaders from our state, from Georgia, from North Carolina, telling you, okay, these are the challenges that I faced, and this is how I overcame them. And I think that piece of it is so critical because, what do we say? If you see it, you can be it. To say, wow, she looks like me. He looks like me. And he did it. I can do it too. They can find their path that they wouldn't necessarily have seen before they spent 2 days with it.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that it's free because that levels the playing field and it removes barriers, right? Because as you know, these are challenging economic times. I think the other thing is that before you all did this didn't exist. There was no real way for people to, you had the campaign school and you could apply and do that. But the other piece, the CCM piece about understanding how your government works and all of that. If you didn't have civics, you wouldn't know. And if you're not hanging around political watering holes, you wouldn't be privy to how things work and how to move things and all of that. So I think this is amazing to give people an opportunity to sort of really get an inside look on what it takes to run for office, because it is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, but everybody's not going to run for office. Like I was talking to my girlfriend and sorority sister, Markeisha. She is very interested in being a part of a campaign. And until she took Patty's one day, she didn't think she had the confidence or really the ability to sort of, and she's an award-winning writer, but she didn't think that she could be in those political waters in this way. And now she's thinking about the 5-day, which I just love, because I think it's that kind of talent in people that we need in these capacities. So I hope that this is an ongoing thing, because I'm sure from the last time y'all did this, people were like, are they going to do this again? Because I missed it, because I heard other people go back to their communities and talk about, oh, I learned this, that, and the other thing. And, oh, are they going to do it again? So.
Yeah, it's funny you would say that, because that's exactly what we've been seeing in our comments. That people, many people participated last year and thought it was great and just really want to participate again. And I think it's so important, like what you said, Babz. Now, you and I have known each other for a long
time.
Won't even say how many.
Listen, our friendship outlasted marriage.
Exactly. We've known each other. Yeah, we've known each other a lot more. There's more time passed since we've known each other than existed before we knew each other. like that. But I do remember you yourself started being on a commission, a local commission, and then started knowing about how meetings are run and how the system works, and wanted to be of greater service. And then you decided to run for office. And I think that's how it is for a lot of people. And again, there are going to be other people who will say, I just want to learn how to be more engaged. I'm concerned about education, and so I want to be able to monitor, the board of ed, or the town council, or the state general assembly education committee, to make sure that my child is getting the best in his or her public school. And again, this is a way to start by hearing from people who've gone through what you're going through. And again, you can't underestimate the importance of seeing people who look like you, who can tell you their story of survival and of success. One of the big surprises last year was hearing from the state treasurer, Sean, about how he decided to run for office, and about his upbringing. And I think what it does is it helps everybody understand that you can have a role and that you can do it. And there are going to be obstacles. And that's one of the great things in particular about Patty's training, is that it's just very honest with you about the opportunities and the challenges. But you can meet the challenges if you're wanting to do the kind of things that are required. So I think it's for everybody, whether you want to run for office or not. And again, as Patty said, you turn on your computer, you don't have to go anywhere, and you get a world-class training right from your living room, kitchen, or wherever.
Mm. And so the people that come back the second time, Patty, do you find that if they come back to this the second time, then their next step really is the 5-day, right? Like, that might be a leap, but that makes sense that they're like, you know what, I like what I hear. I appreciate the authenticity and the transparency of the trainings. Okay, now I'm ready to really jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So the other component, the other piece, as you know, Babz, that we offer at the Campaign School at Yale is our coaching and mentoring piece. We will talk to anybody who's thinking about running for office, right? Anybody, you know that. Oftentimes my husband will say to me, "Oh, you're finished for the day," and I said, "I am, except I have a Zoom call at 9 o'clock tonight with a potential candidate," right? So again, since we've been doing this for so long, and we are the premier professionals in this business, we can pretty much gauge rather quickly whether or not a potential candidate is ready, right? And so a lot of times, we just have to have a conversation, a one-on-one, and we do that. We offer either a phone call or an email or a Zoom conversation. Patty, this is what I've been through the one day. This is now what I'm thinking. This is what I think my next steps are. What do you think? And you know me, I don't have time to sugarcoat things, because that does not help people move forward, right? I'll say to them, well, get through your divorce. Speaking of divorce, a lot of times, and I don't know why this happens to women, but a lot of times their town chairs, they're in the middle of a divorce, and their town chairs will say, "Hey, this is a good time for you to run for state rep. It'll take your mind off your problems. Actually, it will exacerbate your problems." You've got to always come from a strong foundation for yourself to run for office. It's a full-time job running for office, right? And so I was like, no, you're going to, and it's flattering when somebody says to me, "Oh my God, you're so dynamic, you're so articulate, you so get our community, you need to run." But if your personal life is a hot mess, you're not running. We want to skew you for success is what we do. So I'll say, get through the divorce, right? Calm things down in your life personally.
That's right.
And then we'll have another conversation in 6 months. So that's what we do. We are brutally honest, right? But we want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need to run an effective, successful campaign or to run a campaign for someone else. But you're coming from a place of, again, confidence, peace and calm personally, so that you can focus on the work because the work is so critical and it is so important. Now, Babz, you know my story as well. People have said to me, oh, Patty, you should run. Why aren't you running? And I say, I know my lane, right? I know my lane. I don't want to work on issues I don't care about. I don't want to be nice to people I don't like. And I don't want your call at 2:00 in the morning about your pothole. I don't care about your pothole. So I think it's so important that we know what our strengths are. I know what my strengths are. I like telling people what to do, how to be more fabulous and sensational. Like sometimes people can't even see it. They can't see how amazing they are, you know, and let's use Marquisha as a perfect example of that. She sparkles, right? She's so ready now. So you know that you and I are going to do what we do.
Tag team.
Exactly. That's what we do. So that's the other thing I would say. I would suggest that your listeners this morning take a look at our website, which is tcsyale.org. A lot of great information about upcoming other trainings that we're doing. We're doing an information session again via Zoom this Friday at noon. Maybe I want to come to the 5-day. I want to know what's involved in that. And so again, easy to sign up and just join us via Zoom and learn more about the 5-day.
Mm-hmm. Ron?
No, I was just going to say one about the great participants that were there last year. You could really see them really getting fired up, the energy because of what they were witnessing. And again, when you think about the chat room, there was some real serious conversation and the blooming of something I think that's meaningful and important. And I just wanted to also say too, if anybody wants to register, you can go to ccm-ct.org. And when you register, you have to register for day 1 as well as day 2. So it's two separate registrations, but we really hope that you attend both. We've got a little special certificate for you if you do attend both days. But we really think that once you commit to attending, you'll really be glad you did. Again, unfortunately, we don't have Babz on for this year, but last year she was on and she knocked the ball off the park as usual. But you're going to hear from people like her who've chosen this path of public service and who can tell you how you can go down it also, which again, I just think is extremely important for people of color and women to hear from other people who've made it and who could tell them that they can do it if they do this, and that.
But I thank you both for coming on. I just love this idea. I love this this connection that y'all have created. I love that it's free. I love that people are taking advantage of it. And I can't wait till y'all come back on and tell me when the next one is so that we can talk about that too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Look forward to it.
Thank you, Patty Russo and Ron Thomas.
Good seeing you,
Babz. Why can't I do this? Why can't I? Speaking of Babz, we are celebrating Babz today on all our Campaign School at Yale social media as one of our rock star grads in honor of Black History Month. And it has been such an exciting month, I have to say.
I must say too.
Isn't it fun? We're getting so many wonderful comments and shout outs and people sharing. And I know, Babz, you will share yours today. But
I've shared them all because I've been so impressed. I was like, whoa, look at these women.
It's just so amazing. And again, it's this whole thing about, wow, to see so many women of color in leadership who are grads of our school. It's really been an exciting month. And we're going to be building on that for Women's History Month next month. Thanks, Babz. You're the best.
Thank y'all so much. I'll be back tomorrow. It starts the Deltas on Tour conversation for the next week. So I will have
Yay.
authors of every genre on talking to me starting tomorrow into next week, because Deltas are on tour with their books.
Oh,
And
very
thank
nice.
y'all.
We'll be
Thank
watching.
you.
Have a
Thank you.
wonderful
Babz.
day. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Ron.
Ron. It's good to
Thank
see you.
Ron.
Good to see you too.
All right, Harry, play us
Bye.
out. Thank you very much. It's a great picture.
Oh my God. That was so much fun.
Well, I when I was talking about whether I had a tie on,
I love that. I love that graphic. Oh my God, that's great.
Thank you. That's Harry's handiwork.
Wow,
Okay.
Harry, thank you, hon.
I want so that picture. What do you call it? What do you call it when you sculpt it? Photoshop. I want my picture photoshopped.
All right, we gotta go because we're still on air.
I didn't know that.
Thank you, honey. This was a wonderful way to start my day. Thank you, Ron. Ron, I'll be back in touch.
Exactly. Really looking forward to it, Patty.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you, Babz, for helping publish.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Harry, drop my screen so I can get on out.